Hi, this is a Python for Physics tutorial on the introduction to the finite element method with Python, part 2. So in this part we will apply the finite element method to a uniform beam with a moment that varies linearly as a function of position. I have my notebook. I have my notebook already uploaded, and I will scroll down, and we will first deal with the weighted residual integral equation. If you for some reason wouldn't have the equations rendered correctly, or there is a missing number for the equation, as in this case, or down here there should be a number in here, please reload the page, the browser page. Right, let's see if we have the numbering correctly. Yeah, that's how it should be. Okay, so let's assume we have our partial differential equation. This type of equation governs both the bending of beam and also the thermal heat through a wall. Yeah. This partial differential equation has also a boundary condition, that is that the bending, which is represented by phi, this bending at position 0 and h is 0, and in this case it is phi 0 and phi h, and these are 0. Now, in order to deal with the shape function and the weighted residual integral equation, which I have labeled RE, we have the shape function for a particular node, the S node. For example, in this case, the S node has two shape functions, one on each side of the node, that is in element e plus 1, and in the left element, which is labeled e. Now these two elements are defined by the nodes. So e element is defined by the node R and S, and e plus 1 element is defined by S and T. Now we're going to evaluate the weighted residual integral equation, and that we do by inserting equation 2(1) in the we insert the equation 2(1) in the weighted residual integral equation, and we obtain equation 1.5 which was derived in part 1 of this tutorial series. Now, if we separate equation 1.5 into the elements e and e plus 1, we have equation 2.2. And in this equation we have separated the contribution from the partial differential equation in the element e, and here we have the contribution from the same equation in e plus 1 here. You can also see this clearly because the integral is defined by xr and xs as end positions, and in the e plus 1 we have the xs and xt here. Following a derivation which is given in this reference, which I give the complete reference at the end of this notebook, we can rewrite equation 2 into this formidable equation. So let's look again at this rewriting of equation 2 into 2 3. We have two terms here which are in blue, and these two terms are the inter-element requirement terms, and they constitute an inter-element requirement which cancel only if the phi dx is the same value on both element E and E plus 1. These two terms are useful for certain circumstances, but they are considered normally as an error term, and simply are neglected as because they become smaller and smaller the finer grid we use. So we will concentrate on these other terms here, this one and this one below. Equation 2 3 is further separated into the moment contribution, which comes from Q. Q represents the moment, and the stiffness contribution. D is the stiffness. And we will first deal with this green term, which is the moment contribution. Okay. And we will focus first on this term and then later on the other term here, coming from the E plus 1. So in 2 phi we evaluate this contribution from the moment by writing out how Q depends on NR, QR, NS, QS. And we finally evaluate this integral, and we determine that the integral, this one, is this term. In 2.8 we give the contribution from the stiffness integrals here, and in adding up all terms from equation 2.6, 2.7 and 2.8 we have 2.9, which is the residual integral. It is the residual integral evaluation given as element number and node index numbers. 2.9 can be further simplified assuming that the node order number is sequential. I have a direct correspondence with a physical sequential ordering. Then we have 2.10, and here we have one single index variable, and that is S. Okay. Now if we evaluate equation 2.10 for node number 1, 2 and 3 here, we obtain this equation 2.11, 2.12 and 2.13. As you can see, I have, for example, the term coming from node 0 here is in blue, and node 4 here is also in blue. These are in color because the deflection here is 0, and these terms in blue, they are eliminated, they are 0 there. The same happens also for the moment. The moment at node 0 and 4 are 0 also. Thus these equations from 211, 212 and 213 reduced to 214, 215 and 216 here. And with these equations we can directly implement those into the definition of NumPy matrices. The left side here defines a matrix, which is the stiffness matrix, and the right side defined the force vector. And as usually we do in Python, we import the NumPy package as NumPy as np, and then we import also its function to evaluate the algebra, and then we define the moment q1, q2, q3, d, which all, and the element lengths. Here I have the stiffness matrix, which I have marked, and here we have the force vector defined. And so we just need to instantiate these code cells by pressing Shift Enter, and two remarks is that the evaluation of the weight residual integral equation changes whenever d or q change within the element. Okay, and the second note is that the formulation of the equations for the end nodes was never evaluated because they cancelled simply. For further reading, you are recommended this book by Sigerlin, Apply Finite Element Analysis. Thank you.